What is good, lads? We're back with another episode. We are so back, Gavin. We are back. We're getting it rolling now. We did a double feature. We just watched Weapons, and now we're going to review a movie that we were excited for. I mean, when we first saw the trailer, and we were kind of talking about this, which I found super funny, but this trailer was just thrown down our throats in the theater all the time. Every time we went to go see a movie, this trailer would always pop up. But we finally got a chance to see Austin Butler's Caught Stealing. And it was a good time at the theater. That's what I want to say. It was a good time at the theater. I had some different expectations for this movie. I was going in kind of like, I hope this movie has sort of a Snatch feel to it, to where once the movie got going, I didn't want it to stop. I just wanted to get little information here and there, but I just wanted the plot to keep on going and going and going. And we got that for maybe, I would say, when everything kind of got rolling, we got that for like 40 minutes of it. And then it kind of slowed down a little bit, which is kind of disappointing. But at the same time, it was a good time at the theater. I enjoyed this movie, but we were both coming out of it being like, damn it, dude, it just could have been so much more. I thought Austin Butler's performance was really good. I thought he was solid. I mean, in some areas, I thought the writing and stuff and sort of the direction of the movie could have helped him. And the thing is, I want to talk about this kind of early, but Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler's relationship was a strong suit. I thought Zoe Kravitz really was a great character in this movie, and Austin Butler and her had a great chemistry on the screen together. That's what I was really excited to see, and I thought got me really locked into the movie in the beginning. And then when things started to get going, I was, it was keeping my attention, but then it kind of slowed down a little bit. But what did you think about the movie and like the pacing and everything? Did you want like kind of a Snatch sort of feel where it's like constantly going, chaotic storytelling, and then you get little bits and pieces here?
I mean, yes, because Snatch is one of my favorite all-time movies in the genre. I got showed it, 10, 15 years ago. And I think I watch it once every year or every other year or something like that, because it's just such a good movie in the genre. And the way that they set this up, especially from the trailer, makes it look like it's going to be kind of a nonstop thrill ride. And then we get into the movie, and like you said, the first 40 minutes does a really good job of character development, keeping things moving, really establishing the baseline of the story. And then they kind of allow you to hit this lull for 15 or 20 minutes. And then you get another 10 minutes of action, and then a lull for 10 or 15 minutes. And I think part of my thing is either the movie needed to be shorter, or you needed to find a way to increase the action and the constant storytelling, so that way everything felt like it was continually moving. This is one of those genres where the times where you slow down are really noticeable. And if the runtime exceeds 90 minutes and it's slowing at any point, it's noticeable. And for this kind of story, especially when you're weaving in baseball and a heist and several criminal groups and an unnamed, unshown, Russian criminal group in the background and everything else, you've got so many things to be able to feed off of that I want you to be able to constantly upkeep that action and not feel like you've got to pull me out of it at any point for any reason. And it did. Like you said, it's a fun time at the movies. It's entertaining. Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz did a great job with their characters, and we'll discuss what went on with their characters a little bit further on. Matt Smith also turned in a stellar performance. In fact, the number one thing, I was talking with my sister about this the other day. Matt Smith started out as the Doctor on Doctor Who, and since then he has just done wild role after wild role. Every time you see him, it's the question of, am I even going to recognize Matt Smith? And then seeing him in this trailer with the punk rock kind of look, the spiked jacket, the huge mohawk, and all this other stuff. And I went, I think that's Matt Smith. And it sure was. And
he just always delivers.
He did a great
That's like
job.
the biggest
He's
thing.
done a great job in every role that he's done. I mean, he was great in the Game of Thrones prequel. He was great as the Doctor. He was great in this. So the cast all did really, really good. And, you know, they weaved in some interesting other things throughout the storyline that, you know, pulled your interest in other directions as well. But it definitely had some areas, like you said, that we looked at and went, it could have been a lot better. And for as much as we saw this trailer, as many hundreds of times, and we go to the movies every week, basically. So it's on us. We're going to see the same trailers a dozen times. It's the way that it works. But for as many times as we saw this trailer, more than any other trailer, I had high expectations for this movie coming in, and it didn't quite reach them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And we can get into sort of the details of it. I mean, one thing that I kind of want to really touch on is like they went into the character development and sort of the backstory of this movie is definitely something to talk about. Like Austin Butler's character, I feel like it's the most, it pretty much gets the only backstory in the movie. I was
just going to say, I think Austin Butler gets the only true full backstory in a movie that has 9 ready characters that are kind of generally in the movie.
Yeah, and that have all the characters have like an impact on the story and everything. It's just, I love movies like this where characters either have like pointless motives or they have like deep motives or they have relatable motives. And, you know, Austin Butler's character is super relatable. I mean, he was a baseball star, got into a car crash, and then he's dealing with it like with drinking and alcoholism. And that's why Zoe Kravitz and his relationship works so well, because she's super sympathetic to him. They're in a very loving relationship. They care about each other, but they're obviously in like this bad side of town where it's like it's like the community is there for you. Everyone's kind of rugged, you know, they're not like, it's a lot of, you know, rich and rugged people, and you know, you're just drinking, having a good time, just trying to get through the day. He's a stereotypical bartender, you know, that loves the Giants. And we get this, you know, moment where, spoiler alert, I don't think it's like that crazy of a spoiler, but you know, he's driving, he's drinking and driving with his best friend. They end up getting a car crash. His best friend dies. And then seeing him go through that and seeing Austin Butler kind of carry that weight with the character, it made me care so much. And then the relationship of Zoe Kravitz and him in the beginning of the movie is so powerful. And I'm locked into this point. I'm like, okay, where's this going to go? I cannot wait for this movie to pick up and, you know, things start to get chaotic, and then both of them get involved and then see where it goes from there.
Well, and not only that, but Zoe Kravitz has a nice little sliver to her character as a medic. She's a caretaker by trade for work. And so in their relationship, she's very caring. She's seen a lot of this stuff. She's experienced a lot of it. And so she allows that to come into the relationship. She's not only very loving with him, but she also wants the best for him. I mean, one of the most impactful conversations that they have is where she sits him down and wants to know if he can handle his stuff. Wants to know if he's able to move past his troubled things from his past and fully commit to the relationship, because, you know, in that line of work, you take care of people, but you also see people who stop taking care of themselves. And so it adds a really great element to their relationship as well. Yeah.
And you're getting all of this through these two people, and you're immediately kind of immersed in the world, and which I like a lot. That's what the type of movies, especially for a movie like this, where it's kind of, you know, on a ground level, where it's a very relatable scene where it's like people are just going to work, or like they have a good group of friends and they love the community so much they never want to leave it. So and then seeing his backstory like multiple times and seeing how he kind of has PTSD from the situation. You know, we get a vision of this like multiple times, and him waking up sometimes in tears, sometimes in shock, sometimes in fear. And they're really great scenes. The only thing is that's kind of the only character development backstory that we kind of get of those two characters. And everyone else, like you kind of talked about before we got on and talked about this movie, they don't get that much. You know, I mean, we talk about Bad Bunny's in this movie, by the way, and Action Bronson, which is like crazy to me. I mean, their acting was actually pretty good for like, I was just surprised to see Action Bronson, but Bad Bunny was pretty decent as a criminal in this movie. And they kind of give little tidbits of his character here and there, but they don't give any backstory to any of the villains, I would say, or the people involved in the situation, which is kind of crazy. They don't even give that much for Matt Smith's character. They have a really funny moment when he immediately leaves in the middle of the movie, and he's like, I'm going to see my dad, he's sick, and then he ends up passing away. And then they have this like really funny moment where he's nobody kind of believes him. He's like he comes
back and
Austin Butler's character,
he's like, dude, where did you go? You saddled me with this key and everybody's trying to kill me, and you lied and said your dad died. And he pulls down his t-shirt and he's like, look, my dad did die. And under his t-shirt's the little like tattoo film over a tattoo on his chest that says dad in cursive letters. Like,
oh my God. It's one of the funniest moments. And then you don't see Russ for a while, like Matt Smith's character. And when you see him, he just instantly has like an impact. And I'm like, let's go. This is where the movie's going to pick up. Come on. So that in itself was kind of disappointing, I would say. But overall, I mean, it's good that we did get at least some backstory or a lot of backstory of Austin Butler's character. And then that helped the relationship in the beginning. And then everything kind of got going there. But I mean, what did you think of like the backstory and everything? Did you think it was good, or did you kind of just were expecting more from everything else?
For as many times as we get to experience Austin Butler, Hank Thompson's backstory, and I understand why it's important for the story, because they're talking about his struggles and overcoming and all this other stuff. But we saw it 5 times. I think you could have taken 3 of those times and replaced them with a flashback about the Hebrews, a flashback about the other criminal group. And, you know, honestly, the cop that's on the take trying to help with everything in here is being threatened by a Russian mob boss as well. We literally never see this guy. We never see him. He's not named. We don't know what he looks like. Like, we know nothing about this dude. I'm not saying I need like a 15-minute background on the guy, but gosh, it would be lovely to like see him once. Like,
I just need a little bit. That's all I need. I just need one speck of information, and then we're good.
Just a little. Okay. But we didn't get any of it. So, I mean, like you said, I like the background. It boosts Hank Thompson and Yvonne's relationship. It gives them some cool backstory. But like, Matt Smith's backstory is all just him telling Hank, hey, I help sell drugs to these 2 different groups, and I'm the guy who holds the money. And I'm like, wouldn't that have been a cool scene to just, while he's audibly telling them, to show a 2-minute kind of flashback to him helping sell drugs, exchanging, like, let me see it and experience it and really be a part of that.
And I'm not saying, you know, it has to be exactly like, you know, Snatch or whatever, or like, but when you have a movie like this where everything's supposed to be kind of going fast or like picking up, I just love it when they go into like a quick little monologue of like, and then everything is quick, pacey. It's almost like just a quick little montage of like, and especially with a character like Matt Smith's character, Russ, you could have easily done that, where he's kind of just going all over the place in his head, and then he's explaining what's going on, like how he got all this money. I mean, he got like $4.2 million or something like that. It's like, I want to know how he got that money rather than you just telling me, oh yeah, it's from selling drugs. I want more. Get creative with it. You have one of probably the most creative, that's the thing too. His costume design is amazing. It's so good.
Oh, it was fantastic. He's one of the better costumed characters in the whole movie, and he's so entertaining. I mean, he literally just takes up the screen when he's on it. And you could have done 100 things with his character. And another character that I actually haven't talked with you about yet before we did this, that I'm thinking about while we're talking about it now. How is it that we only saw his mom in the final 2 minutes of the movie? And really what it is it's a post-credit scene. We only see her in a post-credit scene. We don't hear her side of the conversation. You just piece together what she's saying based on what Austin Butler's saying. I went through half of the movie not knowing if his mom was sick in the hospital, with some kind of a disability, or if she was just this regular mom who was really scared for him because he got into a car accident when he was a teenager. Like, all of these are questions that could have easily been answered by throwing her on screen for a couple of minutes. Like, and we talked about this beforehand, but it's a 2-hour movie just about. If you're going to take 2 hours of screen time for all of this, I feel like you got to use it a bit more appropriately. So that way I have a full grasp of these characters. I've got a good understanding. And it's not as though the entire movie was nuts to the wall action. So it's not one of those things where you look at it and you go, well, we couldn't have cut 10 minutes of that to put in the backstory for this. Yes, you could have.
No,
the scene where Austin Butler is hitting balls at the batting cage. Okay, sure, that's entertaining and it shows that he could have been a professional baseball player, but that's like the 7th time in this movie that you've allured that he could have been a baseball player and was hoping to get drafted by the Pirates. Or the Giants. I got it. Okay. Like, I got it. He could have been pro. He could. I don't care. I want the other characters. Like, just let me know the other people.
I just don't care about his baseball backstory. Just give me more of Matt Smith. What are we doing right now?
More mom, more Zoe Kravitz, more criminals. Listen. Part of this is a little bias. I'm going to admit it right now. All right. We've been doing baseball all summer. All summer. So my baseball tolerance is lower than it should be. But also it's a movie about criminals. I don't care about baseball. I just want to see the criminals.
You know what character I also didn't like was Detective Roman. The detective was such a weak character. I mean, first of all, it just didn't sell me enough where it's like, oh yeah, she's playing, she's working with the criminals, blah, blah, blah. It's a spoiler, by the way. I apologize. It's kind of a twist in the movie, but it's like, I just didn't vibe with her character at all. She wasn't really, it just didn't, the writing wasn't strong enough and it didn't make me believe it that much. And I also was kind of every time she was on the screen, I was like, oh my God, just get her off the screen. Well, right. I was so done with it.
Her performance is so flat.
Yeah.
She has this scene early on with Austin Butler where she's interviewing him and she keeps getting all serious and scowling. And she goes, oh, no, I'm just screwing with you to see if you'd give up anything. And then she would go a half a question more and scowl at him. And she'd go, oh, I'm just screwing with you again. And I'm like, will you shut up? This is not entertaining. I need you to move on.
It's kind of just all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God. Place. But it was probably the least. And then also, I hated that she's like, give me a call whenever, leaves him the card, and then, he picks up the card, and I get it. She's involved with criminals. I understand. She's not going to pick up the phone. But it's just what are we doing here? Oh my God. Why even have that sequence if, I give him the call and then she doesn't answer, and then like it ends up like going bad for Austin Butler's character. It's just kind of like, oh, whatever. But no, that was just something that was like very nitpicky of me. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was something where I was like, I just kind of don't care about her character. She really isn't. Like we have 9 different characters that are way more interesting than her. I want to see them, and she got the most screen. She got probably the 3rd most screen time out of anybody. I was like, God damn it.
On the screen for ages. And then let's talk about the other big problem with the characters. Okay. There's plot holes. There's a lack of backstory. Regina King's character is just not well-rounded or acted or anything, or interesting. But the biggest problem with the characters is that the most interesting characters, the best characters in the movie, as they start to get interesting, and this is your official true spoiler alert, okay? Because we're jumping way into spoilers now. But as the characters get interesting, Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler's relationship starts to take steps towards being serious, and Zoe Kravitz gets killed. Matt Smith's character starts to get interesting, and he gets killed. And Regina King's character gets mildly interesting, and she gets killed. And the owner of the bar gets interesting, and he gets killed. And Action Bronson and Bad Bunny get interesting, and they get killed. And it's every time a character starts to peak in what they can do as far as the story goes, and they die. And that's it. And you're like,
it's just criminal, man. And the thing is that we were talking about it before, like we got on here, and we were talking about it immediately after the movie. The amount of potential that this movie had, if you would have just kept some of these characters alive, if you would have just kept Matt Smith's character and Zoe Kravitz's character alive, you would have had a 10 times better movie, because they're going to be involved in all the action with Austin Butler. And I get it. If you want to, I could kind of see where they're coming from, where it's like, oh yeah, you have this period of the story, but then you have to go into this period of the story with Matt Smith. And now Austin Butler is just having like all these different relationships within the movie at different times for like only like maybe 20 minutes per scene, or like per event, per chapter of the story. But the Zoe Kravitz killing off is inexcusable. To have that, I mean, how much did they pay to get her in this movie too? That's what I'm wondering. And not only that, why?
Well, it's like paying Robert Downey Jr. to be Dr. Doom and then only having him on the screen for 20 minutes. Like, what do you mean?
Literally,
like,
we're talking about Catwoman here. Like, this isn't like, and
she's not a C-list actor. She's an A-list actor. She's a fantastic actor. Oh, and by the way, their relationship was the best relationship in the whole movie. It was the most motivating thing throughout the entire film. And I think we literally get 20 minutes of her and she's dead.
Yes. And and the thing is Austin Butler does a good job of kind of selling it in the beginning, but then it's almost like he just forgets about her. And then he like starts focusing on his mom more, like any normal person would. Like, family is like the most important thing in your life. But to have that special of a like connection on screen and have that special of a relationship, and then you just kill it off, and then to have such a funny, creative, like Austin Butler and Matt Smith on the screen together, and then they go through these very, like, the scenes that they're in are electric. I love it. The chase scene, even Matt Smith's character Russ has like such a great line. It's so funny. He's because Austin Butler's character Hank is addicted to talking about baseball, and then Matt Smith's character in a freaking English accent, he's like, oh, always with the baseball. And then he's like, what? I like baseball. And then he goes, yeah, he goes, I get it. He goes, would you be annoyed about me talking about the Premier League? And I'm like, oh my God, that's just so funny as me as a soccer fan. I'll talk about
the Premier League all the time and see how you get off about it then, mate.
Exactly. And it's so funny, and it works. And you're immediately right there, like a person like me who loves that type of humor, is immediately hooked to him. And then after the chase sequence, oh snap, he has a concussion. And then they go through this whole entire like other chase sequence with like people, the Russian mob like chasing them. And then he just dies on the subway? Are you freaking kidding me?
I half expected, while we were in that movie, I half expected him to have just passed out on the subway and show up at the airport as, spoiler, Austin Butler is trying to use his identity to flee the country with the money and have the final showdown be at the airport because... Okay, first of all, that would be a hilarious disaster.
Hilarious.
And second of all, what a good, like, twist. You thought he was dead. He knows what he's going to do because that was his plan originally, was to go to the airport and flee the country with the money. Like, that would have been such a great way to... And no, it's not what happened. He just died on the subway, and the guy that he sat him next to thinks he's asleep, and he like slumps over on him and he just shoves him over, and like that's the end that you see of Matt Smith. That's it. The end.
And then another thing, I completely forgot about it, but Liev Schreiber's character, the Hebrews, they are in the car with Austin Butler's character, and then they have this great moment where they use the gun lighter of Zoe Kravitz's character, and you're like, oh my god, they ended up killing Hank's character, and they do have a great moment. It's not like it's like some, you know, it's very unrealistic, to be honest with you. I mean, when it comes down to it, but when he drives and then he ends up crashing, then he ends up killing Liev Schreiber's character, ends up going through the windshield and dying just the same exact way as his best friend. But my thing is like that's the peak of the character right there. That's where things just start getting interesting. And for me, if you introduce that in the beginning, and then you have a way better payoff, and you have this kind of buildup of like Austin Butler being like, I need to get revenge now on these guys, and I need to steal the money, and I need to do this. That's where the story gets better. I mean, it's every single time a character gets good in this movie, it just ends up ending. And that's what, like, I finally just got frustrated and was like, damn it, dude. Like, this has the potential to be such a good movie, such a good time. Like, one of those movies where it's like, I could watch this all the time when it comes out in streaming. Like, if I want to just watch a good vibe movie with a ton of, like, crazy, like, cool characters, this is the movie I'm going to watch. And then it just never happens. Bad Bunny ends up getting killed. And like, after he starts getting interesting, it's the same exact thing with this movie. And that's the one pet peeve or nitpick. I don't even think it's a nitpick. I think it's just bad, a bad creative decision to be like, we're going to make all these characters really interesting, really cool. We're going to have great lines with them. We're going to build the relationship of like two of the most important characters. And then we're just going to kill off one of them. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I mean, it's almost like if you made Ocean's 11, but as you went through the movie, they just started popping characters from the Ocean's 11. And by the end of it, it's just, you know, Brad Pitt at the end. Like, okay, well, that's fine. Like, but also that sucks because it's the surrounding cast that also makes this really interesting. Yeah, it's the biggest thing for me that takes this movie from the potential of what it could have been to what it ends up being, which is an entertaining time at a movie in the late summer, early fall. Came out during baseball season. So for all the true baseball fans, you know, that's good. But like, it could have been such a great movie, and instead it's kind of a mid movie. And to that point, Brett, where does this movie score for you?
I give Caught Stealing a 7. I mean, I like that people like this movie. You know, all the reviews were positive. It got 7.3 on IMDb. I saw the audience rating for it was like 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. For me, I'm just more or less disappointed. It's not like I hated the movie or anything like that. It's just you come out of there being like, damn it, dude, that could have been so much better because of, like we said, we saved it for the last topic, but just the killing off of the characters too early was really disappointing for me because I would love to see, Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler's character just go through the whole entire movie and deal with it together and then have the happy ending. Obviously, you can't have that for every movie, but in this type of like scenario, I would have loved it because I felt like Zoe Kravitz's character could have provided so much like comedic value to it as well in like all the crazy scenes that they do. Plus, I would love to see her and Russ, Matt Smith's character, like connect more. And that would have been that trio would have been awesome. And they even talk about Russ so much in the movie. And then for them to not like have like any character connection whatsoever, the three of them is honestly criminal. So I give it a 7. It was a good time at the movies. I like that there was a decent amount of people that came to go see it. And yeah, it was a good time at the movies. I really kind of enjoyed the experience after watching Weapons. So it wasn't that bad, but yeah, I thought I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, I got it at a 6.8. I'm a little lower, just because, you know, when you've got these kind of heist type of movies and you fill out such an impressive cast, and like I said, we saw this trailer 280 times or something ridiculous. I mean, we saw this trailer so many times, it was almost criminal for it to come out and not be one of the better movies of the summer. So I was really disappointed with that. However, it is still an entertaining story. It is still, you know, a good time. It's a little long on the runtime for what they ended up doing with the movie, but it wasn't awful by any means. It just didn't live up to its expectations. I didn't get out of the characters what I wanted out of the characters. I didn't get out of the story what I wanted out of the story. So 6.8. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. It's certainly no Honey Don't or Jurassic Park, for sure. So
yes.
we'll leave it at that. Still worthwhile going to see. And you know what? If you're a huge Giants fan or a huge Mets fan or whatever, there's little moments in there for you too. It's entertaining.
That's true.
And
it's a good time.
Coming up this next week, we've got Scary Movie Round 2, as Brett likes to say. We're becoming the horror movie podcast for one of the most anticipated horror movies of the year in Conjuring 4, the finale for the Conjuring series. So we will be seeing that on Wednesday. We'll be bringing Brett and myself blankets, bears, and something to hide under just in case. I'm also going to be getting Brett a Annabelle popcorn bucket because I think that would be great.
I'm throwing that off the balcony. I mean, that is not
sure.
That is not going to be in my apartment.
Oh, but you already have two in your apartment. I don't know what you're talking about. You just haven't found them yet. I'm excited to see the movie. It's just, I'm not a big fan of the franchise because I was not even a big horror fan, but now apparently they're just making all these great movies. I've complained about it already in the Weapons review, and now I'm complaining about it in the... would you like to give your complaints? He's only seen one movie so far, which I told him is fine because there's by the time it's said and done, there's at least 9 that are going to be in the movies. Do you want to voice your complaint about the first one? I love your complaint about the first one.
I mean, the hide and seek. Well, I mean, the hide and seek is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, from the trailer on, it's like, and I listen. It's cool that it's like actually based on a true story, and like you could look up YouTube videos and stuff of the history and everything of The Conjuring, but. It's going to be a great movie. To be honest with you, the trailer of it looks so sick, and I think they're going to go all out. You said it was the first R-rated version of the series.
First R-rated movie in the series, which means it's going to be wicked intense, which, to be perfectly honest with you, as a huge fan of horror films, actually has me a little concerned for the level of scary that this movie is going to be. But I'm excited. I love these movies. I love the characters. It's going to be a good time. And we're also going to see another kind of disaster type of a movie in Rose with Benedict Cumberbatch. And
I can't wait for that.
That should be hilarious and a great time. So stick around.
Those are the next two that we're gonna see. So that'll be good.
We're back, guys. We're back.
We'll see you guys in the next one.